Awesome stuff. Okay, Sydnie, thank you very much for joining me on Headstrong.
Oh, thanks for having me.
How are you doing on this gorgeous day?
It's a bit doom and gloom of a day, but I am great. I am fine. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. You're replacing the weather with your good mood. Right, I'm going to say some things. I'm going to do a nice zoom, close up. Golden Buzzer winner, BGT winner, releasing a single originally released by Frank Sinatra, debut album, UK tour. It's a little bit of all right.
It's not bad. I didn't see it all for myself, but here we are.
How awesome. Is it still pinch me moments? Like?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Big time pinch me moments. I still don't believe it, but here I am. Here I am.
It's
trying
immense.
to live it, yeah.
What a journey. I mean, 2024 has probably been...
Who would have known?
Exactly. I mean, what I want to talk about first is, you know, at the beginning of 2024, you were still working in a gym.
Yes, I was.
And so this is an incredible kind of arc and journey that you've been on. Are you still overwhelmed?
Massively overwhelmed, because it's just, I'm trying to navigate this newfound life of mine, which is really exciting. Like New Year's Eve, I was in the bar, in the back garden, because my parents have like literally a pub in the back garden. So just says the type of people, you know, that we are party animals. So we was in the back garden and we were talking, and I was just so deflated, and I was like, what is my purpose? Like, I've wanted to be on the stage all my life. That's all I've ever wanted. And life, it just isn't letting me, or it has, but just, I wanted to be in London. I wanted to live a life here in the country. And West End just weren't letting me in, and I was like, I think it's time. I think it's time, because I want a family at some point. So I was like, what can I do? So, you know, I needed stability. And then it's so funny. My brother-in-law was like, carry on. What funny feeling. And then who would have known? Sixth sense, isn't it? He was right. And then it was my year. Literally 3 weeks later, I had the BGT audition, and I would have never have known.
We'll definitely come on and talk about that. But the first thing I'll need to talk about is not only is a new single out, but your album, as of when this comes out, is out. I mean, that is insane.
Unbelievable.
I mean, as you say, what an amazing year. How was that recording process for you?
It was fast. It was really fast. It was amazing. And I'm learning, because I've never recorded an album before. So the experience was great. It was very new. It was really interesting figuring things out in that amount of time, because we had a deadline, because obviously I'm really lucky to have people that want to hear music, so I needed to do it quickly. So interesting, really interesting, and I really hope people like it, because it's something, you know, all the team are proud of. And it's nice to say that I just can't wait to have it in my hand and just be like, what is my life? Like, this is just brilliant.
Are you used to all these changes yet, in terms of the impact it's had on you personally and maybe mentally? Like, how are you coping with that sort of overwhelm? How do you switch off from, yes, it's amazing, you know, you've got the album out, you've got your team who are incredibly supportive, but you're like, well, I'm still me. I've got my family, I've got my friends, that I want to switch
100%.
off.
100%. And it's so bizarre. My life actually hasn't changed. Like, it really has, but it sort of hasn't. Because when I'm not doing things like this, I get on the train, I get on the bus, I go home. Nobody really recognises me. I'm a lady of many faces. Like, I usually, you know, I'm quite the tomboy. I usually have a trackie on and my hair up, and I don't really wear makeup. I never get noticed, and I love that. And then my life is just normal when I go home, which is good, because I've never known it any different. So it's just nice to know when I go to work, it's now doing what I love, and it's working towards something that I love. So that's the best. That's all I ever wanted for myself, really. Okay,
so we will go back and talk about kind of early life growing up.
Cool.
But I suppose the most important area that we must talk on is the catalyst for all this change, being Britain's Got Talent. Mm-hmm. So you're there on New Year's Eve.
Right.
And 3 weeks later is your audition. Is that right? So it was in January?
Yeah.
So talk me through that audition process. When did you apply? And talk me through that preliminary audition.
Right. So I've been on and off the BGT process for about 4 years since lockdown. And you apply, and then you start sending videos through. And obviously during that time, you couldn't. I know people audition in person now, like do a producer's audition. I didn't do that because I was sending videos back and forth, and then you'd sing a song, and then they'd hear you sing something else, or they'd hear you talk. Or, you know, it's just getting to know you a little bit. And then I found out very last minute that I had got through to the actual judges, and I was like, okay, how do I feel about that? Because I would pull out of the process because I wasn't brave enough, because the industry that I wanted to get in, I'm used to having a script and auditioning for a character, and with this, it was frightening because I was going on as myself, and I didn't know how that was going to go. I felt very vulnerable. But then, because I feel like everything happens at the right time. So this was the first year that I actually knew or got told I was going to go through to the judges. And I think it was the first year that I was like, okay, I'm brave enough to give that a go. And I think it was because I was sort of going to look in a different career choice, because I was sort of done here.
Or nearly at the end.
I was nearly at the end. Not because I wanted to be, and I would have found a way to sing. Now I'm singing in pubs, and that's just that's so fulfilling as well.
So
I wanted to build a life for myself, so I was just going to change career, hopefully get some more money in, more moolah for the sustainable life.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I was brave, because I was like,
it's now
one last hurrah.
Yeah.
Let's just give it a go, and it'd be a nice thing to say that you're done.
Do you think it's then that build-up of, trying to get into, the performance and creative industries in that way, just all that rejection, being put down, not being noticed? Do you think that had just taken its toll?
I feel like I was used to it. And
I feel like we've become numb to it.
Yes, you're just used to it, and it's going to be there. You're going to audition 20 million times, and you'll be lucky if you get recalled for 4 of them, and you'll be really lucky if you get 1 of them. And that really is just how it is. I say it did have a toll on me. I was sort of just expecting rejection all the time. So probably the belief.
But you don't believe in yourself as well, then.
I know.
It's so you can almost read it on camera. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, it was so bizarre. I didn't believe in myself, but I still was sort of just numb to the feeling of rejection. That's so bizarre to say, but it was just normal. I was like, I probably won't get that, but I'm going to go for it. Well, that's bizarre that anyone would put themselves through that, but I wanted it so bad. And it's just so rewarding that something has happened. That's what I just tell everybody, life can be so hard, especially when you want a certain job. I'm 28, it took me this long, and I'm still not even there yet, properly. This amazing thing has happened to me, but it's now just the door opening, and this is where I feel like the work is truly beginning, which is great, because all we need is opportunities. Everyone just needs opportunities just to go.
On a side note, yes, you're 28, and I know that you've probably been trying to get into the industry for ages. However, that's still so young, but because of the amount of effort one has put in, and you haven't made any headway, it's so difficult. Because ultimately, the world has put pressure on us to build a sustainable married kid's life.
I know.
And actually, what is wrong with saying to somebody, just actually keep going, believe in yourself until whatever age? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But we've built this kind of concept of what normality looks like, and why should we adhere to that?
Literally, it's not bad to be selfish for a bit, or just for a little bit longer. I do want a family. I want to be a mum so bad. It's going to be good, but I want to be happy that I've given my life a good go, and try to go what I wanted to. The things that I wanted to do, the dreams that you wanted to reach for, and stuff like that. Yeah. What you just said, 100% agree with.
So you talked about finally being brave enough to do it. This was the time. And that's a really interesting word. So let's talk about that day, because it must be strenuous. You're full of nerves. You've got potentially something that can change your life. But then there's also this kind of history of, or, the self-worth side of things where you might be rejected. So it's like, how are you How are you coping on that day? How did you tackle it?
I think my boyfriend was really handy on that day because he's an actor, and he was like, babe, this is just another audition. What are you freaking out about? And that was like, you're so right. You're so right. It didn't help fully, but it did help a little bit. I don't mind being told no. I just didn't want to be over frightened that I didn't do well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it was the fear thinking that it would get aired and I did a bad job. That was my fear. When you're in an audition, there's never a camera there. You've got a panel of people, and then you leave and you never see it again. With this, it was going to be plastered, or it might not have been, but a good, there's a chance that it's going to be televised whether you get through or not. So it's just I hope I do all right, because I get really nervous. Like, I was so nervous in the final, and it was. I look at that and go, "That's the worst. That's the worst you've ever sung." Like, nerves literally take over your entire body.
I mean, these situations were kind of, are incredibly abnormal. How do you look after nerves and look after kind of being anxious and stuff like that? What are your coping mechanisms? You talked about the support of your boyfriend. Is there anything else that you kind of do to kind of try and stay calm?
Me personally, I try and kid myself, and it showed in the audition, like me trying to be funny, or not trying to be funny,
You were yourself,
or just I was being myself, and I talk a load of rubbish, and it's a nervous thing. And when I told the joke about my middle name being Mary, when I said that, I went, "Why did you say that? Because if it don't land and it ain't funny, I'm just going to cringe." So I talk shite, really. Seriously, just to talk rubbish, and it's a nervous thing. And I've always been the same. Ever since I was young, if I'm nervous, I laugh. I used to go in fits of laughter.
How important is a support network then, particularly, in the since winning, let's say? How important is it to have had that team there to lean on, navigate, support you, as well as kind of family and friends?
So important. It's so comforting when you see other people believe in you, because then you're like, okay. And it's sort of, even if I didn't want to believe in myself, I was like, well, I want to do it for them. That was my thing. I want to make them proud. I really want to make my family proud. Will you believe me? I want to make you proud. And it sort of, weirdly enough, felt easier doing it for other people than it did for myself, because that's how low in belief I felt about my talent, which is, that's just me, which I hope no one feels that way. I'm very hard on myself. I'm a perfectionist. It's a nightmare. I'm a little bit of a pessimist, and my mum's like, "Oh my goodness, Sid, stop that." But I've always been the same, and maybe it's because I've been told no so much that I'm like that. And it's quite I'm a creature of habit, and I'm still trying to get out of that a little bit. But then also, I don't think I'll ever lose it. It's just who I am, I think. I just want everything to be good.
Talking of people believing in you, let's talk about the judges very briefly, because people love hearing about this stuff.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the first time you met him, in person. When was it?
Yeah. After the audition?
Yeah.
It was after my semi-final performance.
Really?
Yeah.
That long after?
Yep.
Bloody hell.
Yep.
It's crazy, isn't it?
So, went on stage, sung my way. They all said what they said. I was really, really lucky and got the vote of the public vote to go through to the final. And then once that was done, he comes on stage and he shook our hands that got through and said some lovely things. And that was the first time I'd met him.
It's pretty outrageous, because I think a lot
it's very different to X Factor. People
No,
think.
sure.
I
think people, though, in general, when they watch a show like this, they don't know. All they ever see is what's on camera, right? Mm-hmm. There's so much work that goes into this stuff. Yeah. How much support were you given by the team in terms of choosing your songs? Did you get any assistance in terms of building up to the live show?
So, you have something called a routining. I think it's a routining, something like, I don't know. you go in and you got the producers there and the lovely vocal coach, Annabelle Williams. And I had an idea. I had at least one idea, and it was like I had one idea that I wanted to do, and I had that idea from the night that I got the golden buzzer, and it just come into my head, and I found a piano version on YouTube, sing to piano, and I was trying to work out a way to make this my own, and they do give you ideas, but I had mine, and it was so important that I made them like it, because I wanted it to be mine and authentic and my choice. And I'm so glad, because at first I think I said my way, and they was like, okay, so you have to go in and sort of pitch your idea.
Sure.
And they loved it. And
Right.
I was like, yes. But then you also need options, and then they helped me with the options. You need to be sort of ready and aware of what you would do for the final. And with the final song, I was just looking at the step in front of me. I didn't have a clue what I was going to sing for the final. Not a clue. So they came up with an idea, and it was Over the Rainbow, and it was my complete idol, Lauren Allred's version that she literally just released. And I was like, no, there's no way. I cannot do that. I can't do that. And then obviously, Lauren she's very good friends with Annabelle, and she's done the BGT thing. She got like in contact, and she was like, you can do this. And that was the best thing. I was like, I can do this. I can do it. I did not that much, but it was the comfort there and the belief from the people that made me.
That matter.
That matter, yeah. That was the best thing ever. And I didn't obviously expect to get through to the final, so all my time was on my way. So then when it come to like, oh, you're going through to the final, I'm like, oh, no,
maybe less time was better, actually.
yeah, I've got to practice a song now. 3 days. And I was like, oh, okay. Figured out ways to make it different, like, you need finesse and time and practice to get into your body. So what me and Annabelle practiced in the room, and then when I went on stage, I actually did it totally different to what we practiced. So I was like, great. Oh. So, yeah. So I'm running away.
No, we love it. We love it. What? So I'm intrigued to hear about when a show like this goes public.
Yes.
The magnitude of it, the scale of it is huge. The press are picking up on things. And notably as well, people not involved in the press are very happy to sit behind a phone or a screen and say things. Okay? My first question is, how aware were you of this? And the second of all was, how did you cope and tackle with it?
Not a clue. Oh, the first night after that audition, when the audition aired, it was one of the best nights. I had all my family and friends there. We didn't know what was going to happen after the audition, but that was such a beautiful moment.
Go on, describe where you were, what was going on.
I was in the living room at home. My mum and dad have got a nice house, and they've got quite a big living room. So there was about 40 of us in this living room. We were crammed, but like everyone was on the floor on top of each other. When am I going to have all them people in the same room again for something like that? So it was so special. Within the first word of me singing, I was sobbing. I was probably like a bottle of wine down, but I was like sobbing because it just brought it all back. And so I was like, I've done that sort of thing. Great. Best night. What they done with the edit, BGT, was gorgeous. And I watched it and it brought everything back. I believed how I felt. I was like, I've never actually seen myself like that. I was so vulnerable, and I think that's why it worked for me, because I was so like, this is me, this is it. Just if I'm going to do one thing, I just need to be myself. And I'm so glad I did. In the morning, when I woke up, Sydnie Lies to the Nation, Fix, awful. Sydney stole version from Marisha Wallace. I was like, what is going on? I didn't lie. I didn't lie at all. But you can't tell people because they don't want to hear it. They don't. I went on the stage and I stood on the stage and I said that I'd done Starlight, but I just want to work in London. I want to work in the West End. There was a whole big conversation about it, but obviously they don't have enough time to put your whole 7-minute interview before you sing. They just put the key things. Yeah. I want to be on the West End. So it looks like I have lied. And people truly believe that.
They take it for gospel.
Angry. They get so annoyed. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this. This is terrifying. I just want to make you happy. I want to tell a story and just be myself and honest or whatever. And now you have a problem. Everyone has this problem. And I'm like, this is such a shame.
How did you tackle that kind of reaction?
Well, you don't really. You just go with the flow. That first week was horrific. That felt horrible.
Does it just kind of take away the importance of the occasion, the significance of it from you?
Yeah, it was just aggravating because people didn't know the facts. And when they didn't want to know the facts as well, that gives me the ump. That really annoys me. Also, when people are horrible about my character, I was like, oh, okay. That's what put my back up a little bit. I was like, that's such a shame.
Well, at the end of the day, here we are.
And there you go.
And there you are.
It makes me worried seeing these were a lot of adults.
No, I know. Again, it's just one of those things of, it's so easy to say something
but
when they don't know you. Well, yeah.
That's what I'm worried. I get worried for the children in schools learning about that.
Yeah. So okay, let's actually rewind to how all of this came about. Let's talk about growing up. First of all, what kind of music were you listening to?
Like I sang, a lot of R&B. My older sister, R&B. My mum, old school funk, reggae, everything. We are a music family.
Did you ever do kind of performances in front of your mum? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I used to do them at the rugby club. They used to put me on a table and I used to put an act in front of me, I think for a laugh, like I was going to earn any money. I probably earned their beer money going around the rugby club.
Oh, well done, Sid. Give us that.
They used to put me on a table and I used to sing Vindaloo.
Oh, really?
Vindaloo. I used to sing anything. I used to sing Tomorrow for money.
Did you?
I was known as a young girl for singing that. That was like my song.
So when did you know that you wanted to become a performer? And indeed, you ended up going to Performing Arts College. But when did you first know?
I've never wanted anything else. I've never known anything else. That's why it was so heartbreaking for me. All I've ever done is sang. Didn't know that musical theatre wasn't my priority. It was singing. I was just the annoying child that wouldn't shut up, and I would sing. And then when you're older, especially with my age now, it's like somebody goes, put her in a theatre school, and then that's where I've been ever since. Like I would do one theatre school, and then do one club, and then a drama club, and then go another theatre school, and then it got to an age I finished secondary school and straight into a college. I've never done anything else, but I sort of just landed into theatre because I just thought that was the only route to get to where I wanted. Yeah.
Was mental health part of the conversation for you growing up?
I have a very strong family. Strong in the sense of very we're close, and I think we're good people. We are good people, and always look on. We're really nice people, and they have, pumped realness into me and was like, yes, very supportive, and if we talk, we're very open.
That's great. Having a good relationship like that, helping you kind of navigate the trials and tribulations, the successes, and also the rejections is so important.
Yes. Don't get me wrong, I've been a state in the past. I've been like, why is nothing happening for me? Crying. They've had it with me.
But that's where it's so important to have that support network.
Yes, and I'm so lucky because I have friends that don't have that support network, but just their parents go, oh, get a normal job that would be easier for you and you could have that stability in life. So I'm very lucky that my family sort of wanted my dream as much as I did for me. I am very blessed for that.
What has been the biggest pinch me moment for you to date then? There must be countless, but I'm intrigued.
Oh, wow. There's one that sticks out in my mind. When I won, or even in my it was when I won, because they all wasn't there. All my siblings were in one room watching that moment, because I've done a couple of shows, and none of them, I don't think any of them have seen my professional shows. None of them see Starlight in Germany, or when they did, got cancelled or something. It was so cool to have everybody in one room and witnessing that lovely win. That wasn't just my win, that was our win, because they have been through that entire journey with me. That was so important. I won't ever forget that.
What piece of advice would you give to somebody, a young adult, looking to get into the performing arts and notably trying to crack the industry? What would you say to them?
I would say something that I didn't do was use what you have, like social media is such a great tool that you have on your phone. Like, put yourself out, do videos, YouTube videos, always train, always spend money on your craft. You can never go wrong with that. Singing lessons.
You're investing.
You invest in yourself. It is very expensive, but it's you're better in your craft and what you want to do, and it is so worth it. Believe in yourself as much as you can. I lacked in that. And you sort of get there in the end. Opportunities will always come, but it probably would have made it a lot easier for me emotionally if I did believe in myself a little bit more.
What's your relationship like with social media now? Because you've gone from whatever it is to hundreds of thousands of people that are now, whether you like it or not, are interested in you.
I don't like
They're going to be getting your album, so you know.
But I love the people.
Yeah,
it's so
it's a difficult
odd.
relationship, isn't it?
Yes, I don't like social media for the bad reasons of people, of trolls and stuff like that, or seeing people wearing so much makeup or being a certain way when life is just not perfect.
Mm.
But then also the fact that I can interact with people is the best thing ever.
Is there a particular interaction, in person or online, that you remember since these experiences this year in 2024 that's really stuck out? Maybe where it's had the most impact, somewhat where they felt incredibly inspired by you? Has someone said anything that's really kind of stuck out?
Everyone. The amount of messages that I get, people telling me their stories, or just...
That's what I love to hear about.
It's the best.
Hits you in the feels.
Yes, it does. And it actually makes it all worth it. Or when I've got teenagers messaging me going, I've got an audition, what are your tips? And I reply to every single, as much as I can. And they go, I've applied for BGT. And I'm like, good for you.
Go get it.
Go get it. Well done. You're 15 and you're brave. Like, you're brave. I was 28, you know? Just the fact that people look at me and it's working positively on them, that makes me incredibly proud. Incredibly proud. So yeah, hearing everyone's stories and maybe what like My Way has on their, like, it reminds them of their grandparent or something that's happened in their life and they're writing out. They're being vulnerable with
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful.
It's so important to share.
Yes, and it's really.
And I think what you're also kind of suggested as well is, you know, you've been doing a few vlogs, like, you know, like little things, but you're trying to show the real you. It's important to show that on social media.
Yeah, right, like this.
Or use it as a tool to say, yeah, great, sure, I've just won this, but ultimately, I'm still, as you say, you're still you. Not a lot has changed, apart from, look at you, like you've got success finally. You know, it's like it's your moment. You're allowed that, but you are allowed to, you know, as you say?
I'm trying to normalise normality.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do, because I look at my niece. This is what does me. One of my nieces, she's getting to the age of going into year 9, and the makeup and everything is social media. Not necessarily just my niece, but everyone that sort of age. It's a very different life to when we were young. I had greasy hair, put my hair up, I had my basketball shorts, and I was climbing a tree. Even at the age of 13, 14, it's very different. That, of the wanting likes, things like that, it breaks my heart. So I would love to try and do something. I'm still trying to figure out something to set a different standard that's not that, you know?
It's difficult in this day and age, sadly. That's kind of the way that it's gone. But on that social media number then,
yes,
since winning, who's been the craziest person to message you?
Scooter Ron.
Really?
Yeah, that was mental. Also, my main one is Gloria Gaynor.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
I was like, literally, I was singing your song last week at a pub in a gig. Like, do you know what I mean? Brilliant stuff. They're pinch me moments, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
I never thought I'd speak to them in my life.
Well, it's amazing. It's that feeling of, the way that you've described yourself as being a pessimist, and then actually being noticed. Do you have invigorated self-belief now, or are you still trying to build that?
I'm still trying to. Everything is practice. I'm still trying to learn how to do that. Yeah, I'm still learning, but
life is a learning process.
Absolutely. Everything is practice. But I don't want to change myself massively. I don't think I could ever lose the sort of pessimistic side in me. But I want to be more positive now, because I've been given this, these fruits to pick from, and I just, I'm very grateful, but I do want to be more positive about it. I'm frightened, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, but let's put a positive spin on it. You've got an amazing team. You've got your family, you've got amazing friends, and you've got an opportunity.
Yes.
And all you need to do is actually just live in the moment. Don't overthink it.
That's exactly
free therapy
the
for
aim.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, the question that I ask every guest is, what does the word headstrong mean to you?
Headstrong. Oh no.
It's your take on it.
I'm not
it's
one
your
to be a
take on it.
walking dictionary.
No, but it's your take on it. So headstrong, it can be as literal or as vivid or as obscure as you like.
Strong in yourself. It could be strong in your opinion, the way that you think. But I would like to take that as being strong in yourself.
Self-belief.
There you go. Exactly what I need to be.
So the album is out now, but you're also going on tour in 2025. Super exciting. What are the dates?
Exciting. February 9th for 2 weeks, and you can get the tickets on sydniechristmas.london.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
God, what an experience that's going to be.
I know,
And you're going to be singing the classics from BGT, I hope?
Yes, absolutely.
And then hopefully these new tunes on the album is going to be amazing.
Absolutely. There's more sides.
There you go, sydniechristmas.london for your tickets. Nice.